Welcome back to Penthouse Lanes. We turn from the ladies to the men, and the Hudepohl king of TV bowling, Tom Brenneman, back with Bo Hudepohl and David Newrath. And Bo, today we're at another one of the triangle lanes.
That's correct. The betting house's own 3 centers, the Penthouse, Crossgate, and Eastgate.
We were at Eastgate, of course, last weekend. David, tell us a little bit about our first match.
Well, the first match, we get to say it now, contrasting styles, lefty-righty. Both players are very aggressive, but I think the advantage, at least from an experience standpoint, might go to Don Scudder.
All right, we'll look for it. First match coming up next. Stay with us on
and the Hudepohl king of TV bowling. Of course, last week Wayne Sherman, our running champ for 4 weeks, upended by Mike Whalen, and he will await whoever it may be. First match, you're taking a look at Don Scudder and Bo Hudepohl. This guy, I mean, you talk about a guy that's had a share of TV appearances. He's had a bunch.
He certainly has. He's been on the show more than 20 times. I think he's lost count. He has actually been our king on 12 different occasions.
An experienced veteran of the Hudepohl king of bowling. Starting things off, frame number 1, and does it the right way.
Issuing the challenge, Tommy. You'll see it so often. The more experienced player, Don Scudder in this case, going out and just ramrodding home a powerful strike, as much to say, Riga, come and get me.
Well, on the other side of the coin, as often as Don Scudder has been on, Riga Kalfas, time number 1.
Has never appeared before. He's been bowling in our qualifiers for about 5 or 6 weeks last year and a couple weeks this year, so he really is very new to the qualifiers.
Nonetheless, he starts the way he wants to. Both guys starting off with a strike, and I tell you, that's got to be nice the first time on TV, David, to come out there and get those 10 right off the bat.
Well, when we opened the show, I gave the advantage to Don Scudder, strictly from an experience standpoint. Tommy Riga does a lot of things right. I mean, a lot of things. He's very disciplined. His repetitive nature of his shots is phenomenal. He does not vary his routine hardly at all, and that's what it takes.
It's that consistency that's there.
Consistent as a smooth
Hootie Gold, Hootie Delight.
I don't know which one. This time of year, I keep deciding whether I want to get into the Bach or the Gold or the Delight. Well, I don't have to worry about Delight.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm still wondering when we're going to be paid off from a bet a couple of weeks ago. Dave says he was there. 3 weeks, you're right,
that's a 7-pin, ladies and gentlemen. We leaving it on a high hit. He'll shoot cross late at this. We'll discuss that at another time.
Boy, is he dodging today. Riga Kalfas trying to pick up the spare from Newport, Kentucky. Nicely done.
Well, we're coming to an end this year. I can't believe it. I'm distraught that I can't participate in the rest of the qualifiers as a matter of fact, it's the first time I will miss a King of TV qualifier in 15 years.
I can attest to 7 years of those qualifiers.
Very difficult for me not to come out. But what we got, 4 weeks left? 3?
This is week 8. We are actually qualifying for week 9 right now at Hyde's Bowling Lanes over in White Oak area.
And of course we'll have 11 shows on a regular telecast, and then week 12. What do we got, Bo?
The finals.
You bet.
The Bhagwan.
There's $1,500 guaranteed in the finals for the men too.
Bhagwan?
The Bhagwan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just saw that in a sentence in a book somewhere, so I figured I'd toss it in there. Don Scudder nails the spare.
The 10-pin on a weak hit that time, Tommy, it was in the area of the 1-3 pocket, and that's about all. But Don Scudder, being the great spare shooter that he is, covers it up, and we have an even match through 2 frames.
In case you missed the queen, the lovely young lady there in the back in the red.
Jennifer Kleekamp, sitting next to her father, Irv Hoenke.
Her husband there as well.
Yes, Ken in the sort of an olive. What color is that? Aqua.
Agua.
Too early for me to say that.
Don Scudder, lane 9, looks good, is good. Tommy and Bo, I'll tell you what, Don Scudder's the best I've ever seen, other than Mr. Williams, like yesterday on the national tour. There you see him, 11th board, straight as a string. Should it finish? You bet. 10 pins in the pit. No deflection, perfectly thrown. Strike, spare, strike. Don Scudder, Riga. Has to stay in the pocket to keep close.
You know, I heard a rumor about Don last night. I got to find out if it's true, David. Maybe you can talk to him later. He is starting to take up bowling left-handed as well as right-handed. I understand he has a full amount of equipment being drilled over at Carl's Bowler's paddock right now.
Don, as we see Riga throw a perfect shot to tie up the match. Both players strike, spare, strike. 3 frames, even match. Bo, Don is, let's see, let me think of the right word here. Don is a little ahead of his time. And he has really shown some interest in the game down through the years. We bowled thousands of games together and against each other. And recently he's shown an interest on finding out what's on the other side of the mountain, the other side of the lanes, and he is bowling. I doubt seriously that he'll ever be as competitive from the left as he is from the right, but who knows?
I just thought it was interesting to see somebody try to bow both, both ways.
We may see him one day on the King of Bowling as a southpaw.
Yes.
Way wide. That ball was about probably as bad as Riga will throw one today. Got to the line too fast, spun around the ball with his hand early, sending the ball wide, leaving the 1-3-6. There you see it, the 1-3-6. The object is to hit the head pin, the middle, the farmost left in the shot, and let the ball just careen down, kicking them off one at a time. The 1-3-6.
You know, we have determined who's going to be on the show next week. On the first part of the show, anyway. Bob Schomer rolled a 747 series yesterday at Hyde Lanes. Tim Sharp rolled 746. And Doug Harper, I understand, rolled a 300 game. We'd like to congratulate him in the nice game.
Well, Riga Kalfas, if he's nervous, I can't see it.
No, he looks cool, Tommy. He really looks good. He's got some credentials, he's got a lot of potential, and he's got a tough competitor in Don Scudder. Right lane, he hit his mark.
What happened there?
4-9, he got the ball just a little bit inside, Tommy. We can take a look at it here on the replay if we could. This ball is going to finish a little too strongly. At this point it looks good, but now it breaks off sharply. It's going to go to the left of the 9-pin. There you see the 9-pin opening up. That's the 2-pin trying to take out the 4, but not today. The 4-9, we shoot it much too often.
How tough is this to pick up?
The odds in this are about 1 out of 7, I believe, Tom, and for the better players, maybe 1 out of 5. The object is to take the 4-pin, the one on the leftmost part of your screen, and to bank it. It's close. It's close. Oh. Hey, you want to know how to make it? Such a deal I got for you. I'll show you how to make it. Let's take a look at it here. Terrible arm swing, but boy, does he get away with it. The 4-pin bank shot. He knows he's got it at this point. That's about as perfect as you can make it, and about as ugly as you can look while delivering the ball.
He needed that spare to stay even at this point, too, because after 4 frames, they both have 60 up, both working on a spare in the 4th.
You know, it looked like he threw that a little harder than he has some of his other balls. You talked about the bad release, but he looked like he really let it go.
Don is a scrapper. He's a striker. He will do whatever it takes to get the job done, and in this particular case, the job is to win. Don Scudder, not worried about how well he looks, just the effects, and he is tough.
You know, that's kind of like Newrath in the mornings on these shows. Doesn't worry about how he looks, just how he does.
Thanks, Tom.
No, David.
I'll tell you.
The only one who looks good out of this bunch is Bo.
That's because I hide under the hat.
I've been threatening to wear a hat, haven't followed through yet. My basic conservative nature.
Yeah.
You know, we might want to mention here, Riga actually bowled in the roll-off this morning to be on the show. He bowled against Ron Horseman, and Riga shot a fine 224 game to beat Ron. Now, it was funny because we had a double roll-off this morning. We had a tie from Sunday's qualifying between Ron Horseman and the other gentleman's name I'm going to have to find. I've lost it.
It's over there. It's over there. It's underneath your coffee.
Bail me out. Here it is. Rick Odenbach. Ron and Rick are very good friends, and of course they rolled off, and Ron won that roll off 195-193.
Well, Riga Kalfas.
Oh, no. The 4-7, we say it's not that tough, but every once in a while you're going to chop it. By chopping it, we're going to tell you that the 4-pin, in this particular case, is going to go straight back in the ball. Now watch it here. It's going to break off a little too sharp. It's going to touch the 7-pin. Right there, the ball touches the 7-pin, but not enough to knock it over. Tough break. Riga. Open frame with Don Scudder could be difficult to make up.
Riga going to try to regroup right here. Looks like he's taking a little extra time this round. We saw that last week. Who was it that really changed his style a little bit and almost waited too long? I believe it was Wayne Sherman.
Wayne Sherman, yes.
Unnerved. Last 3 frames, not a good shot out of 3 of them. And when you make a bad first shot, you're going to leave these difficult spares, and eventually you're going to chop a few of them. Tommy, the 1-3-8. One of his fans.
At this point, Don Scudder actually has the advantage then going into the 6th frame.
Don Scudder. Bo talked a little bit about 20-plus times he's been on the Hudepohl King of TV Bowling. He's won over 35 titles in his career. Right here from Cincinnati.
Look out.
Ooh.
That's not the way you want to make it. The last frame, or the 4th frame on that lane, when he left the 1-3-5 or the 1-3-6, there you see the score. It's not looking good for Riga at all. Don Scudder at this point is about 22 pins in the lead, and he's looking to move that to 32 with a strike here. Not a strike. 22 pins, still the advantage for Don Scudder.
Bo, West Hills Ford having a celebration going on.
That's correct. You know, every Sunday morning, Tom Schiller and his son Todd have come out with a new car in the event that a 300 is rolled. Today we have the 1987 Mustang LX 3-door. And his factory air conditioning, and it's a 5-speed. God, I love the 5 speeds. But they are celebrating their 16th anniversary. As of last Sunday was their 16th, actually going into their 17th year now. We'd like to congratulate them.
2 fine gentlemen, Tom and Todd, and Don Scudder. You talked about this guy being a competitor, Dave. He is really doing it at this point.
Tommy, he's as tough as they come in the Cincinnati area, and on a national and regional basis. Also, he's also brought back several titles. I noticed he didn't put any of them down, but he has been a strong competitor throughout the entire Midwest for years.
That one's looking good. Ooh.
A great shot, an absolutely great shot, a ringing 10 on that particular ball. Not his fault. Let's take a look at it here. The pin you want to watch is the 6-pin. Second one from the right-hand side of your screen. Look, the 3-pin goes straight back, pushes the 6 into the wall and around. Not going to happen. The ring 10 is what we call it. Don Scudder's probably brought back 3,000 or 4,000 of these in his career.
That's a very common spare for the scratch shooter. Wouldn't you say that, David?
Far too common.
Don kind of took a deep breath, thought he might have that one get away from him, but he picks it up, make that career 4,001.
That's right. Going into the 7th frame, Riga's got his work cut out for him. Don had an opportunity to really close the door in his face, but Riga can get back in it. At this point, he's 23 pins down. If he gets a strike working and doubles up, he could cut it to 13, Tommy.
But you talked about having those 2 open frames against a guy like Scudder. That can really almost seal your fate. But nonetheless, as David mentioned, got a chance to get back in it right here. Big ball.
He's lost. He's confused. He really, at this point, doesn't know quite what to do. And what you're seeing is not a bad bowler, ladies and gentlemen. You're seeing a bowler with less experience on this particular situation now, whether it's the TV cameras, the lights, all the people watching, or this particular condition, we don't know, but something's affecting his game and he's not contending with it properly.
You know, Riga does average 208 in his league, and that does attest to the fact that he is very capable of shooting a very good score.
Well, Bo, that's actually a composite average. I was talking to Riga before, and his averages range from a high of 216 down to a low of 196, and he composited out at 208. We can see, as the scoreboard will tell us, that Don Scudder has the advantage. There you see 23 pins in the lead. Going into the 8th frame, Riga's got a chance, but he's got to start right now. Critical frame, lane 9, the Pin House in St. Bernard.
And owner and proprietor here, Roger Bettinghouse, one of the Bettinghouse brothers, part of the Bettinghouse East Side Triangle, I think is what we have to call it.
That's right. Old Jerry Bettinghouse, of course, the BPA president, he doing a little skiing.
I understand
this week.
Yes.
I don't know where he's going, because all over the country we're getting it just like we're getting it here right now.
It's warm.
And you can't argue with that. Sorry for you skiing buffs out there, but I think the sunshine beats that any old day.
Go out and swing a few golf clubs.
Going wide, leaving the 1, 3, 6, 10. Again, identical to the other 2 deliveries on lane 9. Wide, missing the head pin completely. He is just swinging his ball out way too far to the right. Look out again. Not the way you're supposed to make it, folks, but what the heck.
Looks like he's actually gotten a little fast on his feet at this point, David.
Yeah, we'll see if we can pick it up next time around. His footwork is unique to begin with. He's got a little stutter step in there, and if that is, his timing is off a little bit, that stutter step can drastically affect his delivery, and we're seeing it right now. Don Scudder's not overly impressed with that shot, but he'll take it.
You get all 10 of them to fall, take it any old time.
Boy, you bet.
I'd like to know what that's like sometime. Of course, I play in the 3-6-9 out at Harrison. They'll give me 3 up.
I think you have to wear a dress, too, because it is a ladies' tournament.
Boy, look at those
Yeah, that'd make
legs.
things real tough.
Do us a favor, Tommy, please. Don't do it. That's about it.
Like
Just about going to put the capper on this match. Take a look at it here if we can. Don Scudder is going to lock this match up with a double right over the second arrow to 10th board. As you see at the 1-3 pocket, completely annihilated. That's perfection, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you want to see.
There was not 1 pin left on the deck back there.
Let's watch his foot. Pick up this stutter step if you can. Right there. You see it? Not the optimum way to maintain a consistent follow-through and timing move. And again, a lot of these things, though, Bo, you're not going to learn to do it that way. It's just something that you do from the onset.
That's correct.
That particular aspect of Riga's game, if he's going to work on something, and it were my game, I'd try to smooth that stutter step out a little bit.
You know, a lot of people that I know use that step to actually get their timing adjusted. I know a gal that used to have that stutter step, and I tried to change her, and she just could not effectively get to the line, so she went back to that.
How often have we seen this? The match is all but over, and the other gentleman loosens up, starts swinging. His possibility at this point, if he strikes out in the 10th frame, would be 192.
David talked a little bit about his average, the composite of actually 4 leagues in which he plays in, being a 208. but he would have to strike out to pick up that 192.
Even if he gets this one, Don Scudder would not have to mark in the 10th frame. All he would need would be an 8 count totally in the 10th frame, and he'd still be our champion. It's official. The spare here, he could finish out with a 181. Not the kind of game you're going to write home about, but nothing to be totally ashamed of. You see it there, 161 and a ninth. Strike spare, 181. Don Scudder's off to the races, though, Tom.
Well, you know, Riga's only 19 years old, and I'm sure it's got to be nice for him. We'll probably see him again down the road, whether it be this year or next. And it's nice to get that first one under your belt.
There he is. Don's just getting up. They're going to throw and move along to the next competitors. Bring them all.
Bring them on, indeed.
And he's got a fine competitor, Mike Niehaus, who has been scorekeeper a number of times to be on the show, but has never made the show. So we're real thrilled that Mike made the show this time. And so was he.
I'm sure he was. I don't know how thrilled he's going to be going up against this fella.
A little slow on that delivery. That's not for any other reason other than the fact that it doesn't really mean anything at this point. Jennifer's giving him a few words of advice. Probably keep your speed up, dummy.
Boy, with a 258, she'd give a lot of advice today.
I would listen.
Yes.
Don picks up the spare. He's a winner of our first match. Stick around. Match number 2 on the Hudepohl King of TV Bowling.